I know that when our sex life is healthy and we feel intimately connected and passionate for each other, that we are happier people. Today I'm here to talk about how to spice up your sex life. You do not need a big budget to have a great sex life. You just need a bit of creativity and motivation. And here's my top 5 ideas to do just that. First, enjoy some erotica together. Now, there are tons, and I mean tons of free sites out there offering high quality erotica. So get to Googling and find something that you both like. Ask your partner to read you an erotic story as foreplay, and then read some to them in return. Tip 2 is to see what sexy things are already in your kitchen. So, got some coconut oil in the cabinet? As long as it hasn't been cross-contaminated by food, scoop some into a dish and bring it into the bedroom to use as a massage oil. Coconut has a great long-lasting slip and won't leave you feeling greasy at the end of the massage. Got a jar of honey? You could drizzle some on each other's bodies in all the spots you want to kiss or be kissed. Tip number 3 is to use lighting to flatter and seduce, right? The right lighting has the power to create a reignited sense of intimacy and warmth, and we all look great in dim lighting, so I think you'll be surprised at just how sexy a small change in your lighting can be. Tip number 4, play a sex game, because who says games are just for kids, right? A sexy game night can make the pleasure that you create together really fun and interesting and playful. You could try out a classic game of strip poker or naked twister, and even up the sexy factor by playing them in front of a mirror. And lastly, I encourage you to get aroused and energized with music. I want you to get back in the habit of playing music in the bedroom while you're making love. Like lighting, music has the power to immediately transport you into a more seductive and erotic mood.
The things that once worked for us when we were in our young 20s before children, so don't have any impact now. Like I see these guys with these hot bods that work it out in the gym. Yeah, that looks nice and all, but can he take care of children? Can he cook? Can he clean? Will he let me take a nap? But there are a few things that do increase my husband's chances of getting laid. Help me get rest. Send me off to take a nap. That really gets my engine going. Put the kids to bed for me. In the evening time, I get home from work, I try to get them fed, scramble to get them bathed, tell them a bedtime story, and then, so if we plan on having sex in the evening time, it's normally a no-go. But if he puts the kids to bed, then that's a quicker evening, and I may have a little bit of energy left in me to spend a little time with my husband. It's really super sexy when he cleans the house. That's one less thing I have to do. Not to mention seeing him work those triceps when he's sweeping, stroking that broom across the hardwood floor, and cooking dinner. It's not just a woman's job. Whew. You really are a man if you cook dinner for your family. Being a good father. I love seeing my husband be engaged with the kids, playing with them, spending that quality time with them. Who's that daddy? There is nothing more attractive than watching a dad play with his boys and watching them learn from him and him setting a good example.
When I was pregnant with my first child, I felt like a sexy goddess. I felt full of life, magical, curvy, sexy, and connected to my husband, Charlie. And I was convinced that I would effortlessly slide into my perfect vision of blissful working motherhood and happy domestic life. I mean, has anyone ever been so naive? But when I became a mother, everything I knew about my sex life was challenged. Everything I knew about my sex life had changed. What was once easy and natural and fun and free suddenly became the opposite. Our sex life suddenly felt like a chore, like a real obligation. So where do we begin? And how did we actually get out of this prolonged parental rut in our sex life? Well, first, I had to figure out how to feel sexy for myself again as a woman. For me, this meant going to sexy dance classes and going out with girlfriends for fun nights out where we made a pact not to talk about our kids. Getting out in this way made my life feel bigger again and more exciting, and just really helped me remember who I am. Second, my husband and I started talking a lot more about our sex life, but not in the you always want it, well, you always don't kind of a way that we had been. We committed to leave the blaming and scorekeeping behind us and approach this renewal of our sex life in a way more positive way. Approaching this conversation from a place of curiosity for where we might go together, instead of trying to go back to where we once were, that made such a huge difference. We also started actively doing sexy things together again. We'd book tickets to see a rock concert or a burlesque show. We would pause and go in for a long, sexy kiss in the middle of a toddler tantrum. We would talk about our fantasies over Chinese takeout instead of talking about, our kids' poop or what school forms we had to sign. And all of this helped reawaken the sense that we were still lovers and not just parents. And most importantly, we started putting sex on the calendar. And this put us on the same team to really make our sex life a priority again. And planning sex not only helped me manage my energy and prepare mentally and physically to show up with excitement, but it also helped us take our sex life to the next level, because when we planned for it, we'd have time to think about it and anticipate it and brainstorm, like, what do we want to try this time? How are we feeling? What are we up for? And so this brought a lot of fresh creativity and pleasure back into the bedroom. So look, I didn't snap my fingers and rehab our sex life overnight. I was scared that it was lost and that I wouldn't be able to find it within myself again. And so it was a real process. And then I went through it all again after my second child. So really, it's a living, breathing part of your relationship and yourself, and it needs consistent attention. It's not just a one-time fix. But what I know is this: I know that when our sex life is healthy and we feel intimately connected and passionate for each other, that we are happier people, that we are a happier couple, and that we are much happier and more patient parents. And that with a little bit of open communication and effort and creativity, and by placing a little bit of structure around this incredibly important part of your relationship, that having an amazing sex life after kids is totally possible.